Hello, hello. Welcome to this edition of the Cancer Coach Talks. I'm your host, Leslie Nance, and tonight we are going to be talking about something very, very important. And I'm going to share some statistics with you that I think are going to be really exciting. Let me be crystal clear that we're going to be talking about sleep tonight and how it helps heal the body. We are not going to be talking about how to get more sleep because here's the deal. I can't give you a Band-Aid in a 20-minute, 30-minute session like this that is going to fix something for you for the rest of your life, that's going to help you heal. So my job here is to give you information to help you think about how to fix something and maybe do more research and understand its importance in your life so that you will be encouraged to make a step to make changes, whether it's with me or somebody else. So let me introduce myself. My name is Leslie Nance. I am the Cancer Coach. I come here on Tuesday nights sharing these Cancer Coach Talks with you. Just a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of encouragement, really loving you guys through this entire process, which is my entire life is all about loving people through the process of cancer. And it is an honor to be here with you. And I'm super excited to share this information. I wasn't live last week, and so I was really excited to be here with you guys today and be live with you. So we're going to just kind of dive in with both feet as normal. So hello, Melissa. Hi, Susan. It's good to have you guys here. The only way that I know that you're here is if you leave a comment. I can see that there are lots of people here, but I don't know who it is until you leave me a comment. So please do that. Love it, love it, love it when you do that. At the end of the broadcast, if you find this information valuable and you want to take the next step and figure out maybe how I can help you through your own journey, then I will leave that information as well. But first, let's talk about a topic that is so important. And I think that it is so timely for the situation that we are in right now, because we're going to talk about the immune system. We're going to talk about social isolation. We're going to talk about how it affects our progression or digression of cancer. So we're going to cover all that information today. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Paulette. Thank you guys so much. So whether you're watching live here on Facebook, or replay on Facebook, or over on YouTube, thank you so much for being here this evening. Okay, so sleep for healing. This is a big topic, so we're going to move quickly, so you better listen fast. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't even know if you can listen fast, but if you can, you should listen fast. So, hi, Jen. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. So here's one of the problems that we're experiencing right now for most of us, and that is social isolation. Actually, a couple of problems: social isolation, and we are dealing with stress. Some of it's financial stress. Some of it's because you're in the house with the kids 24 hours a day and you want to pull your hair out. Sometimes it's because your husband has set up shop on the dining room table, or maybe you have set up shop on the dining room table and you're forced to work in that environment. For some of you, it's loss of work. Sometimes it means that you're going to you have to go to the hospital to have cancer treatments or see your doctor. And it creates this anxiety that, oh my gosh, if I'm going to a hospital, that must be full of germs. And what if I get COVID and I have cancer and blah, 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 blah. So it's a cascading effect that we have right now. But where it really pertains is two things. One of those is stress, and one of those is sleep. And there has been a study that was done by Stanford Medical. And the study, I think, was done like early 2000s, but really the information started flowing around 2016. But the study was done starting in the early 2000s, and then more information had been added. And the name of the study is Brain, Behavior, and Immunity. And they were mostly studying sleep patterns and how it affects our brain activity and how it affects our immunity when it as related to cancer diagnosis and fighting cancer. And what they found is that people that have better sleep habits and have cancer live longer, healthier lives. No matter what type of cancer they had, no matter what stage of cancer they had, no matter what type of treatments they were going through, if they were good sleepers, they lived longer than people that were bad sleepers or not as good sleepers. How's that? So I found this really, really interesting. And I've known about this study for quite a bit. In fact, I use it a lot in my work that I do with people because I just think that it's really a profound idea that this is something that contributes to our health, because we automatically bounce around to chemo, radiation, surgery, diet, exercise, the physical things that we can do, but hardly anybody's talking about the impact of sleep and how it relates to our healing and how it relates to us living longer, better lives. And so that is the thing that I want to discuss with you, and kind of, again, going back to the study. And so what happens is when you have poor sleep behaviors, you mess with something called a circadian rhythm. And you've probably heard this term before, but a circadian rhythm is our sleep-wake regulation. Okay. A lot of people that have brain injuries like a stroke or brain injuries because of trauma or even because of cancer have a hard time regulating their sleep-wake, their circadian rhythm. And this messes with a whole bunch of things, but two things that it really messes with is hormone production, the hormone production of cortisol and the hormone production of melatonin, both which are incredibly protective when it comes to cancer. And those are the two things that we're going to touch on this evening. And so the study found that the two hormones, cortisol and melatonin, both slowed when they were in balance, slowed the progression of cancer. And your sleep is directly related to the balance of those two hormones. So let's take a quicker look, or a closer look at what cortisol does in the body. Because for most of you, when you hear cortisol, you think stress, you think anxiety, you think panic attacks. You think about that commercial that says, do you have a lot of, this was a long time ago, this was like 20 years ago. If you have an over amount, if you're producing too much cortisol, you might have belly fat. I remember that commercial. And then they show the belly shrinking because you control the cortisol, because basically they were just going to drug you up and make you feel like you were fine. So anyway, but it was this weight loss drug. Anyway, but but this is a very important process, and cortisol is actually not your enemy. It is actually a massive ally. It's the reason that your freaking eyes open in the morning when the sun comes out. How many of you wake up when the sun starts peeking out, right? Now, if you have poor sleep habits, you're probably not doing that. You want to just stay snuggled up in bed. I don't want to get out. You're like, the sun comes out and you're like, right? And so that probably indicates that you don't have the best of the best sleeping habits, honestly. But cortisol is that thing that wakes you up. It's like, hey, hello, it's time to get up. It's time to wake up. The cortisol actually comes from the adrenal glands. It rises. The cortisol rises in the body, stimulates the body, and it slowly throughout the day lowers. And as it lowers throughout the day, it doesn't mean that you're like, woo, right? It doesn't mean like in the afternoon, you're like, ah, right? It's not that kind of reaction. It's not that kind of response that you're getting from it. But cortisol is really important to your immune function. When you produce cortisol, you're actually also producing things for your immune system, like the killer T cells that go after cancer cells. So cortisol is actually protective in the body. And so too much of it is not good. The right amount of it is actually excellent when we think about healing our bodies. And so we want that good sleep wake. It's time to go to sleep. It's time to wake up and have a good circadian rhythm. Now, a lot of times this gets thrown out of balance because, most of you have been new mothers, are known a new mother, and a new mother or father, honestly, nowadays, they have poor sleep wake because the baby hasn't figured out when it's sleeping yet. And so the baby needs attention. And so the parents have to get up in the middle of the night. I'm pretty sure this is why we have children when we're younger to deal with this and not when we're older. Although we might make better parents as we get older, we have babies while we're young because of this process that we have to go through of getting them into where they're sleeping through the nights, because I know for most people that is a treacherous thing. And so and a lot of people just block it out. Like, I don't even remember that happened. So let's have another one. Why do we do this? And so, but what happens is that the circadian rhythm gets thrown off, and then the sleep pattern gets really, really out of balance. And so you find yourself wanting to sleep in the middle of the day because you didn't get enough sleep at night. But this can also be triggered by stress. It can be triggered by anxiety. It can be triggered by hailstorms that wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning. That was me. If I look tired, it's because I've been up since 3. Because we have a massive hailstorm last night. Ping pong ball size hail pummeled our house and our yard and our flowers and everything that I just planted yesterday. But anyway, it messes with that. So you're either going to feel extremely tired, or you're going to get into a reactionary state where it's like, well, there's no sense in going to bed because I'm going to wake up. And so we form these patterns and these behaviors, which gets us out of our circadian rhythm. And so, and by the way, people have spent millions and trillions of dollars studying sleep and human behavior and how it contributes. And it's very interesting that there are very few studies on how it relates to our healing, because it is, when we are sleeping, we are healing. That's what our body is doing. It's going to work. All of its essential functions to be awake during the day are asleep and down, and our body is taking advantage of that extra energy that we produce while we're sleeping to heal. She's not moving, let's heal, which also applies to cancer, of course. So a disruption in that pattern with people who have cancer actually meant that they did not have as good an opportunity to live longer than people who had a good sleep-wake regulation or a good circadian rhythm. So again, messes with the immune system. Being too tired, having not enough energy to heal is really difficult on the human body. And so you want to make sure that you're getting enough sleep so that you have that energy to produce that healing activity. The other hormone that we produce is when we're getting ready to go to sleep. So as the sun is setting, I want to make sure we're not frozen, because there's been no comments. Sorry, guys. I just have to check this out because I feel like that we may be frozen. Oh, nope. There it goes. Okay. Never mind. Just hold on. Oh, no, we're still here. Okay, good. I'm just not seeing any comments. I think that I'm frozen on my comments here. So pardon me. Okay, back to the scheduled program. I can't see any comments. You guys can try commenting, but I don't think that I can see them. So, I'll just keep going. So the other thing that we produce, the other hormone that we produce, and oh, that's good. Thank you, Jen. I'm not frozen. Awesome. There was just static number and no comments. And I was like, So the other hormone we produce is melatonin, and we think about sleep, we think about melatonin, and people want to take the supplement melatonin so that they get a better sleep pattern going. A lot of people use it when they're stressed. Some people use it to fight cancer, actually. But melatonin is something that we produce naturally. It actually is produced in the brain, and it's a hormone that, as the sun starts to set and as the skies start to get dark, our body signals that it's time for sleep. And so it starts a process of shutting down and preparing itself for sleep. In a normal activity, in a healthy activity, that's what happens. And so melatonin is actually a massive antioxidant that helps fight out free radicals in the body. Now, does this mean that if you have cancer, you need to run out and get a melatonin supplement? No, this means that you need to work on your sleep-wake patterns. This means you need to work on your circadian rhythm so that you produce it naturally. Because as you produce that melatonin and you go to sleep, then your body is using that melatonin as a defense system, which keeps you asleep as well. And it's using it as a defense system, fighting off free radicals, which are damaging oxidative stress in the body. So if you've ever had an apple out and you cut an apple and you let it sit out in the air, what happens to it? It turns brown, right? So that's oxidative stress. It's why our bananas get brown. It's why fruits and vegetables go bad, is because of the oxidative stress. They're not connected to the plant anymore. And so they're not getting the nutrients they need. So they're experiencing oxidative stress. And that same stress happens in the body, and we call them free radicals. I don't know why we call them that. They're like, it sounds like a terror group or something. Anyway, but it produces these free radicals. We have these free radicals based on our environment. Those are environmental toxins, whether we consume them or we have them in the skin or we breathe them in the air or we get them from chemicals in our home. Wherever, we all are exposed to them, and you can minimize them, but you can't take them out. But that oxidative stress, just from aging even, happens. And so melatonin is actually a super antioxidant that helps fight that back. Now, it's not the only antioxidant. There are many antioxidants that work against that, but melatonin is one of those big ones that that the body uses while it's asleep, because it's an effective time to do that work. Okay, so here we are. The connection. There's a connection actually. Oh, and I want to mention this too. So less sleep means less production of melatonin, which means less protectiveness to the body, and more less availability to fight off those free radicals. But also there's a connection to melatonin and the irregulation in the body of estrogen. So metabolization of estrogen, but also production of estrogen in the body, and how we make it and how we move it out. And melatonin actually helps regulate that process. So if we're not getting enough sleep, we're also messing with that. And so it's why women who work the night shift, especially women who work the night shift, whether they're nurses or they are or doctors or anybody that would work, nighttime and force themselves to stay awake, especially over and over and over and over and over again, make themselves more susceptible to cancers, especially cancers of the breast and cancers of the reproductive organs, because their sleep-wake patterns, their circadian rhythm is way out of balance. And so the body is not producing those things naturally, and it makes it very difficult. They will sleep because they're exhausted, but not in the natural state that the body is producing cortisol to wake up and melatonin to slow down and go to sleep. And so the upregulation and downregulation of those hormones is very, very important to our efforts of fighting cancer. And so there is a strong connection to that estrogen production and estrogen sensitive cancers, which we won't take a deep dive into tonight. So I talk a lot about I know I'm talking fast tonight. I'm like a used car salesman about sleep. And here you go. I'm going to get you some sleep tonight. So here's how you're going to do it. I got sleep for $2.99 right over here. Best sleep you ever had. Sorry. We think about the 5 pillars of health, and I talk about these all the time. There are 5 pillars of health, whether you have cancer or not. And those are, anybody want to guess them? I'm just going to say them because I got to keep moving here. But exercise, diet, stress reduction, okay? Or stress management, honestly, making sure that you're staying hydrated, and sleep. Those are the 5 pillars of health. If you can get those in balance, you give yourself 100% better chance of not only living through cancer, but beating it out of your life completely. Okay? And this study that I was talking about actually proves that. So this is what the study said. At the end of the study, this is what Stanford Medical said. So if you don't believe me, maybe you will believe Stanford Medical. It says this: the bottom line of this study is that there is enough information to take seriously the idea that how our bodies respond to cancer. It is influenced by more than just surgery, chemo, and radiation. It can also be influenced by stress and sleep. These two pieces of the puzzle should not be overlooked. That's Stanford Medical saying that. They're saying basically, you need to get some sleep. You need to make sure that you're regulating stress. You need to understand where you are blocked in your healing. They don't say that directly, but I'm saying that's what they're saying. You need to understand where you're energetically blocked so that you can unblock it and heal your body. I had 2 reports today from clients. One, advanced cancer got amazing scans this week. Amazing scans showed a massive reduction in liver cancer. Another client gone into remission from their cancer, from a pretty serious cancer, actually. So it's all about getting that information that we need to heal. It's not just about chemo, radiation, drugs, although that does play a part in some cancers. It's also about healing your life. It's about making sure that you have enough energy to feed your healthy cellular activity so it can do the job that it was designed to do. And if you are lacking in any of those things, if you're out of balance in sleep, exercise, diet, stress regulation, water, you are out of balance and you have blocked healing pathways. This isn't about what your friend did to you in 7th grade that made you mad and caused you a lifetime of pain. It's not about that. It's about where are you blocked so that you can heal. That is what's important. It's not about what kind of vegetables. Everybody wants it to be about what do I eat so I can heal? That's what everybody wants it to be like. Everybody wants it to just be a one-size-fits-all solution. If there was a one-size-fits-all solution, we would all do it and we would never have cancer. Well, most of us would do it. Not all of us. But there's not. There's something individual within each one of you that is blocking your healing pathway. And when you discover that and you work on it to correct it, guess what? Cancer's not your destiny. Wasn't mine. They told me I was going to have cancer again in a year. And then when it came back, it would be all over my body and there wouldn't be anything they could do about it. That was 7.5 years ago. That was 7.5 years ago. Not only do I not have any cancer in my body, I'm healthier than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm almost 50 years old, and I run circles around the 30-year-old me. The 30-year-old me didn't know diddly about keeping her body healthy. I wish she had, but she didn't. The 50-year-old me knows how to keep my body inhospitable to cancer. And this is what I do for a living. This is how I help people. I help them start to unblock those healing pathways. You want to know what to eat? I can help you. You want to know how to get better sleep? I can try to help you. You want to know how to get more exercise when you're tired and you're feeling aggravated? You want to know how to manage the stress around cancer, the massive amount of stress around cancer? I was just talking to a client this afternoon and she was like, I'm so tired and I think it's the radiation. She had just finished radiation like 3.5 weeks ago. And she just started working with me last week. And she's like, and I'm so tired and I think it's the radiation. I said, well, it has a little bit to do with that, but it also has to do with the giant oppression of cancer that has been sitting over you since November of last year. Getting diagnosed, having to do surgery, trying to figure out what treatments you're going to do, trying to figure out how to heal your life in the process so that you don't ever get cancer again, going through radiation, and. That's why you're so tired. That's why you feel like you feel, and we're working to get her energy back right now. But anywhere you have those loose ends out there, you are going to struggle. You have to tie those up, whether it's with me or somebody else. I don't care. I'm just here to tell you that is the solution. It's not in one particular food. It's not in one particular style. It's not in one supplement. It's not in one treatment path. It's not any of those things. It's a combination of things that gives us the energy to heal our body. And sleep is a massive part of that. Sleep is a restorative process in the human body. If you go sleep deprived, your immune system plummets. You go sleep deprived, your brain and its power to compute and make good decisions plummets. The energy that your body creates to just move, to be, plummets. Sleep is one of the most important factors that we have for healing our bodies. And it's not just me saying it, it's Stanford Medical and a whole bunch of other people in that study saying this is the key that unlocks a door that you've been knocking on. All right. That's all I have for you tonight. If you need help in any of those areas, please, please, please reach out to me. The first call is free. Somebody said to me, well, how much is the second call the other day? Which just cracked me up. That was very smart. It's like a question I would have asked as well. The second call depends on what you need. It depends on how long we have to work together. It depends on if you want to work with me at all. It depends on if I think I can help you. That's why we do the first call, is to even decide if there's something that I can do to help you. If I can't help you, I'm going to point you in a direction. For a lot of you that are here tonight, I have been on a call with you and we weren't a good fit. And so I gave you other solutions to go explore. It's okay. I love that first call. I love getting to meet you guys. I love helping you move that thought process forward. Figuring out how you can heal, figuring out what you need to heal, getting you out of the one size fits all mentality, getting you into a personalized program that is designed just for you, just what you need. You know, my clients meet with me every single week. And in a one-on-one, not in a group, in a one-on-one situation. My mentors meet in a group, but my clients, my active clients that have active cancer, they meet with me every single week. And they have unlimited text to me as well. So they can text me as much as they want during the week, asking me questions. For some clients, I only talk to them once a week. That's all they need. For some clients, we're texting every single day. For some clients, it's a combination of those things. And it's all okay, but it's a personalized path to their healing. It's not what Blow Joe did over here, you know, to heal colon cancer, and you have breast cancer, and it's like apples and turnips. It is designed exactly for you. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, then reach out to me. I am happy to talk to you and see if there's something that I can do to help you. If not, we'll have a great conversation. I'll get to love on you a little bit, and I'll give you some resources to figure out where you can get some help. So I'm going to put a link here. You guys can check that out. Again, thank you so much for being here this evening. I'm going to go through and read some comments, but thank you if you're tuning in on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook live or replay. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Leslie Nance, certified holistic nutritionist, certified holistic cancer coach, and 7.5 year. It's like being 5. You're not 5. You're 5.5. 7.5 year cancer survivor from a very serious, aggressive cancer. So if that's something you're interested in, please, please, please do reach out. I'd love to speak with you. Okay, let's go and read some comments. Anne is here. Hi, Anne. I love you, Anne. Hi, Francis. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Paulette. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Francis is asking a question. So let's put that up here. Hold on. Francis is asking, is the time that you go to sleep as important as the amount of time that you spend sleeping? I think I'm going to say yes to that because I think it's important. You don't have to, there's no magic number for someone. It really depends on your lifestyle as well. So for me, I actually start heading to bed at about 9 o'clock at night. I'm usually not asleep until 10 or 10:30. That's because I have a ritual that I do every night, not ritual like ritual. But like like beauty routine, brushing my hair, brushing my teeth, putting lotion, doing all that kind of stuff. And then getting my last drink of water, all that. And then I go to bed, and then I usually read for 30 to 45 minutes before I fall asleep. Sometimes I fall asleep right away. But most of the time I spend a lot of time either in meditation or sleeping. I try not to meditate at night though, because sometimes that gets my juices flowing, and then I can't turn it off. I almost just poked myself in the eye. Ow. But I can't turn my brain off. So I try not to do meditative exercises unless they're calming ones before I go to sleep, because my brain goes ping and I'm like, oh, I should, So I don't think that the time that you go to bed is as important as the amount of time that you sleep. But I do think it's important that you get to bed at a reasonable hour and you wake at a reasonable hour as well. Or again, the natural circadian rhythm of the earth, right? Sun goes down, night comes, melatonin rises. At that point, you should be like, ooh, it's time for bed. Sun comes up, cortisol rises out of your adrenal gland to wake you up. And you should feel that that maybe not wanting to get up. Nobody wants to get up typically, but that, begin that process of waking up. And that should all happen naturally. So the circadian rhythm of the earth, actually our connection to that is very important. So being within that time frame is sort of important. And I hope I answered your question, because I may have taken a long way around to do that. So it's good to see you here. Thanks for being here, by the way. You're welcome, Paulette. Thank you so much. It's good to have you here this evening. Thank you for being here. Oh, look at those cute little ruffled bottom pants. Okay. Terrence is saying wasn't sleeping, but should have been. Well, don't sleep during the training. It's not that boring, I don't think. All right, you guys, I'm going to pop out of here. It is wonderful to be here with you this evening. As always, I will be back next Tuesday, either in a recorded session or in a live session like this, teaching you how to make your body an inhospitable environment to cancer and disease. I appreciate all your attention tonight, all your amazing comments and compliments. I appreciate it so very much. And I will see you guys next week with another topic. And I think that's it. I'll put a link if you want to make a time to speak with me. I would love to speak with you. That's it. Okay, last thing. What's the last thing we always say here? Remember, if you don't take anything else away from this talk this evening, remember this one thing, and that is cancer is not your destiny. And P.S., I can prove it. Love you guys. Have a great evening. Bye, everybody.